What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we've got an episode of Chicago Bulls Weekly to provide for you guys as we look at the previous week, give awards for the previous week, and I guess look at the next week, which should be a shorter week overall for the Chicago Bulls. But before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Bulls, the previous week, the awards given, and what's to come in our upcoming schedule. Now, it was a pretty jam-packed week for the Bulls. We had 4 games to look forward to, and we ended up going 2-2, a neutral record for the Chicago Bulls. And although I think most people would take that in its entirety, I did get very frustrated throughout the week, and I'm going to explain why with one specific game. But before we do that, we must talk about how we took care of business against the Portland Trail Blazers, and we won this game 104-96. A pretty interesting game. Portland kept close for the most part. They even took the lead, I believe, at one point in this game. But the Bulls handled business and secured a win in the fourth quarter against a young, pretty inexperienced team for the most part. It wasn't the best game I've ever seen. I actually thought this game was quite boring, but the win is something that I feel most people will take compared to the actual entertainment value in that game. But then we faced the Toronto Raptors, another winnable game since they had no RJ Barrett, no Emmanuel Quickley, no Jakob Poeltl, but the Raptors took care of business as they beat the Bulls 118-107, and this was the game. This was the game I went absolutely berserk in for a variety of reasons, but the main one is our second half performance was truly, in every sense of the word, woeful. It was disgusting, it was disgraceful, and it was not a representation of what I want the Chicago Bulls team to be. And then I had to do the math and go look from that Warriors game up until that Raptors game to look at how many second half performances we truly won. And it wasn't a lot, ladies and gentlemen. It was 3 out of 9. 1/3 of our second half performances we ended up winning those third and fourth quarters. That, in my opinion, is not good enough for a team that has aspirations to get out of that 9th seed and climb up the table, which is going to be tough and tougher and tougher each and every single day. You need to have a little bit more urgency in those quarters where you have to try and find a way to win. And at the end of the day, we don't do that enough. And that is something that I really was upset with. But the last 2 games was a bit of a change, and it's something I will take. The next game was against the Charlotte Hornets on the second night of a back-to-back, and we won this game 117-110. Very happy with how this game ended. We had a better second half for the most part. Again, Charlotte, an inexperienced team, an injury-prone team as well. This was an expected win by the Bulls, in all honesty. And yes, it was a bit close to comfort. We didn't have a great first half at all, and we still won the game. So it's something I will take because we did respond well in the second half, and that is how the Chicago Bulls need to play in the upcoming games and in the future. But 3 winnable games, and we only won 2 of them. Now, the next game is against the Kings. I don't think many people would consider the Sacramento Kings game a winnable game. We did end up losing the game 123-115. And we got absolutely destroyed in the first half. It is as simple as that. We were down by 30 in the first half. But we're talking about second halves here. The Bulls came back, the Bulls fought, the Bulls believed, and that allowed the crowd to believe. The United Center crowd, I haven't heard an atmosphere like that for a long time in Chicago. And that is because the Bulls don't deliver amazing performances at home or away. Yes, they may win some games. I'm not saying the Bulls crowd is quiet. I'm just saying that the atmosphere that I felt in that game was a playoff type atmosphere. The belief in the crowd, belief in the players, belief in the coaching staff. And of course, we ran into De'Aaron Fox that absolutely killed all that belief and ruined all that momentum. But it's still something I'm going to take. I'll take a positive out of that game because, yes, we should never be down by 30, but we should also never get blown out at home. And we didn't get blown out at home. We fought back tremendously well. I will take that every day of the week. But then you turn into now, okay, 2-2, not necessarily the best week. We had some winnable games and we choked some of them. It is what it is. We have to move on. Let's dive into the individual performances. And the must improve for me, look, I don't really want to give performances for anyone this week, but my must improve will go to the coaching staff. And the reason why is I still have big problems with how this team is adjusting, and I still have big problems with some of the decisions that we are making on the court. The fourth quarter of the last game against the Kings, Coby White didn't touch the ball for the last 3 possessions. And in those possessions, we had a chance to tie the game or take the lead. And then Sacramento ran away with it in the end. That hurts. And again, I love DeMar DeRozan. I'm not going to deny that I'm not going to say that I hate DeMar DeRozan just because everybody else is turning on him these days. I like DeMar DeRozan. He's a very talented player. He's a very skillful player. And I think he's trying his best to fit into a system that doesn't suit him these days. I think it's as simple as that. But when the ball... the way that I view it at least, whoever's having the best game should have the responsibility in the fourth quarter. And if that's DeMar DeRozan, we've seen DeMar DeRozan carry us out of games. I think the Portland game was the one where DeMar DeRozan carried us out of that game. That's fine. But in other games where Coby White has the hot hand and he's been our best player, I want to see him get responsibilities in the fourth quarter. And I just don't know why we don't see that. And it hurts. It really does hurt to see that in some games we still don't trust our point guard to make a play. That hurts. And I put that on the coaching staff. And I put our lack of adjustments and some of our wrong adjustments as well on the coaching staff as well. So I think we can see better. It's about time that we see this Bulls coaching staff do better. Then we turn into the sixth man of the week. Now we had a very, very, very inexperienced and short bench this week. So, with surprise of my own, looking at the stats, I'm actually going to give it to Julian Phillips. Now, Andre Drummond, I know most people will say it should be his award to win, but let's be honest, how many awards are you going to give to Julian Phillips this season? It's not going to be a whole lot. And he came in and he had some great performances this week. As a rookie, it's something I'm very happy to see, and I really think he started to develop the trust from Billy Donovan and the coaching staff to play some big minutes. And it's something I'm going to be happy with. I know he didn't have the most amazing game last game. I know Andre Drummond statistically played better. And I think Drummond even, like, if I said to Andre Drummond, if he actually watched these videos and I said I want to give it to Julian Phillips, I think he would understand. He's a team guy from my perspective. And I think the rookie deserves some recognition this week. So Julian Phillips, rightfully or wrongfully so, is my sixth man of the week. My defensive player of the week could go to one or two guys. It would be Ayo or Alex Caruso. I think Alex Caruso is the guy I'm going to go with. He had some very big stops against Charlotte. When we needed someone to guard De'Aaron Fox, he was the guy. He made things very uncomfortable, but he did jump into a bit too many traps that the Kings set out for him. But again, he gave his all to the Bulls team this week. He hurt himself this week by giving his all. Again, he makes the biggest difference defensively for this Bulls team. Without Alex Caruso, I truly think would be an average to below average defensive team. People already say that we are one of those teams. So, yeah, I think Alex Caruso for me is my defensive player of the week. But my player of the week could go to one or two guys as well. Ayo's had a fantastic week. A very underrated week. I even made a video about how underrated Ayo is. Or Coby White. But I think Coby White's been the fairly most consistent one, so I will give it to him. He had a 34-point game this week. He did struggle against the Raptors, and that was due to foul trouble and whatnot, but he found a way to salvage that game for the most part. I think Coby White is my player of the game. Player of the week, my apologies. But now we turn to what's next, and it's a short week for the Bulls. We start off with the Minnesota Timberwolves, which will be the hardest test of our week. Again, Anthony Edwards ain't no joke. Karl-Anthony Towns ain't no joke. They're a much bigger team than the Bulls. Matchup-wise, this should be a nightmare matchup for the Bulls, and I really don't know how we're going to walk away with a win here. But anything is possible. This game will be at home, so I give the Bulls a fighting chance, but it won't be easy. Speaking of, our next game will be against the Memphis Grizzlies away from home. This game should be fairly easier. Again, the injury list for Memphis is just a big one, but you also have to realize the Bulls are not a great away team, and I don't care who we play. When we play away from home, I always fear that we could lose that game. But the injury list for Memphis should suggest the Bulls would be the favorites to win. And then our last game this week, which is a game I should not be doing a watch-along, I probably won't be doing a watch-along for, unless things change, will be Orlando, and that will be away from home as well. Orlando, for the past 2 seasons, have slapped us in the face and punched us in the gut every single game. I mean, buzzer beaters, close games, close victories. It's been a disaster when we verse Orlando. And I want some element of revenge. Can I trust these Bulls to get revenge? Can I trust the Bulls team to get revenge? Not really, but I hope we see it, because I'd like some revenge against Orlando. They're also having up and down moments in their season, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. And that's my Bulls Weekly. I'm predicting the Bulls to go 2-1 this week. What do you think? Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.